So why the spiritual people are so unlucky in love and romance? The big question that not many have an answer to. Well, today's a lucky day. I have the answer. I'm the one with the answers. Well, let's begin. I pulled a card here and there. I channeled some messages already. But let's begin with me presenting to you a little spectrum where humanity finds itself at this moment in time regarding the awakening process, right? Because basically this is what we call to be a spiritual individual, someone that has awakened, right? Someone that's now aware of the multidimensionality of things, of themselves, of herself, of himself, yeah? Based on that, look at this. So, we have the ones that are still asleep, the sleeping beauties, yeah? The ones that are in between, they just start waking up and they fall in love with the magic of what's beyond the veil. They start to identify themselves as angels and start imagining beings of light, and so on and so forth. Very magical period of time, right? I love that period of time. Even if it was super, super hard, I really enjoyed it. The magic of it, the new worlds opening up to me, the way spirit started to talk to me, the tarot world, the readings world, I absolutely enjoyed it, loved it, and even today I'm so in love with watching readings and with myself bringing the messages to people through readings, right? Channelings, readings, so on and so forth. Then we have the awakened ones. The awakened ones are the ones that are illuminated in many aspects of their being, of what there is, of themselves, and what's outside of themselves, if there is such a thing, after all, right? Well, for sure there is, from a physical point of view, but from a higher perspective, not really. Let's not get into another rabbit hole. I have this way of just going in rabbit hole after rabbit hole and I lose myself. Is this happening to you too? Anyways, you see? That's right there. And then we have the masters. And the masters are the ones that are enlightened, right? The ones that are enlightened and the ones that are closest to God. And God is basically talking to them through different light codes, through different messages. And reaching the status of a master is such an honor, right? I also received the message here that the masters, and I heard Eckhart Tolle, they are meant to leave a legacy behind, like he wrote all those books, because after all, it was such a journey, right? Anyways, another rabbit hole. Let's begin. Let's begin with in order to get to our answer, I'm going to take you on a little journey, right? So let's begin with the ones that are still sleeping. The ones that are still sleeping, they identify so much with their body, with this physical reality, with the avatar. They identify fully, completely, right? And many of them, they believe there is no such thing as another world beyond the veil. Some of them, they don't believe in God, a higher power. Many believe in religion or a certain cult. And these people are the luckiest in love, right? That's how the collective tends to look at them, as you guys, you are so lucky in love. But actually what's happening over there, and I think this is not a surprise for any of you watching, is all the pain is suppressed, repressed. They are not awakened. The pain isn't big enough for them to wake up and to go into the category of the in-between ones, right? And so they are here, they are showing up today in this reading as Nine of Materials. Look at this girl. Nine of Materials is the Nine of Pentacles in Tarot. This is the energy that I'm getting from this card is the carefree one, almost like the full energy, the scattered full energy, the ones that repeat cycles, lives in this amnesia. And when you don't know many things about yourself and you live in this amnesia, you can very well pretend that you are not pretending, but actually you do, right? To be happy. And you create this smoky mirror, this illusion about yourself and your life, right? And it's so easy to find another unawakened one with whom to share a life. And in that connection, many times what's happening is you hide many things. You from each other, from another, from yourself. You lie to yourself, you manipulate another. A lot is happening, right, in many relationships on planet Earth. There are experts out there in relationships, and they teach you how to be and what to do, and not to say that those tools aren't helpful. But haven't you heard about those connections where even if they seem good people, they just don't get along? And that's because the blockage is too big and it becomes spiritual, right? So, and that blockage can very many times occur in these unawakened relationships, between these unawakened relationships, but they stay in there in the connection with the blockage without looking at it, without talking about it, without trying to heal it, without doing anything. And it can become super toxic. And probably this is the love story that our grandmother and grandfathers lived, right? I'm not saying some of them, they weren't happy. I'm saying what's happening generally speaking, right? Okay, anything else to be said here? There is no such thing as happy couple and unawakened. When you are unawake, when you are sleeping dormant to who you really are, you live in amnesia and you tend to repeat cycles. And when we look back, so many cycles repeated already. Now, the in-between ones. These are the people that they start to awaken, right? They start to become spiritual. To fall in love with the magic of spirituality, with the readings. They become gods and goddesses overnight, right? And what's happening here is this is not a time for romantic love. The in-between ones, this is not the time for romantic love. This is a time for looking within, getting to understand what's happening, because awakening, it's a very destructive process, right? And because it's a very destructive process, we might create more chaos than we want to. Not to say that the ones that are in between, they are not in relationships, but they need a lot of solitude. They need a lot of time for themselves. And you know what I'm getting right now? The in-between ones might actually be in connections with the ones that are sleeping. And once they become the ones that are in between, they start to develop an ego of superiority towards the one that's still sleeping. And the friction is real. The friction is real, you see? And not to say that the relationships cannot resist during these awakenings, but it can be difficult and it can be hard, right? Anything else? Okay, the card that I pulled for the in-between ones was the page of voices. Yeah, it was the page of voices. And you know, with this card reminded me, what came to me is a message that a guy posted on the internet some months ago, maybe years, but I just found it recently. And he said, once you are ready, the universe will show you things that others are not prepared to see just yet. And there are rules that come with the glasses, the magic glasses. You cannot force anyone else to wear them. The light just went away. You cannot force anyone else to wear them. Right? Speaking of which, you cannot force your romantic partner to wear your glasses. And I know how hard can be. Right? You start to understand all these things, and you start to have new interests, and you start to grow and expand, and here and there, you know, you have moments of aha moments, moments of expansion, and this and that, and then another ego that, and then this and that. Many things can happen. I can only talk from my experience, right? And this person doesn't get you, or might actually, in some situation, might even bring a lot of negativity into your experience. They might even cancel your reality, might even call you crazy and whatnot, right? Now, in this reading, I'm not here to give you advices of what you should do or not do, right? You do you. You do you. And also not to say that the ones that are unawakened, they don't have their moments of happiness here and there, right? But mostly what mostly bring people together, what brings people together, the magnetism comes from the shadow. And when you are not aware of the shadow, the disaster is there, right? The disaster is there. And probably it really depends how, if your soul is ready or not to face that pain, and in that moment the awakening takes place. Let's move further to the awakened ones. And the awakened ones showed up today as temperance. Temperance. These ones, they already, again, they integrated parts of themselves. They are still in the process to harmonize sides of themselves with all there is, right? We can't call them enlightened just yet. If you want, they are like the Christmas tree without the cherry on top, without that star on top. Without the top. That's how you call it? Top. They are like Christmas tree without the top. And so, although they have a broad understanding of life, romantic love might still not be an option to them just yet. For some of them, the doors towards romance are opened already. They are out from the in-between. The worst now is behind them. But they still might have some aspects of their personality very alive that don't allow them to connect fully with another. Right? Okay. What else here? Let's bring some energy in to help these awakened ones to facilitate their relationship with these parts of themselves, in order to heal and integrate them, in order for the harmony to take place, in order for them to stop chasing shadows in people, subconsciously speaking, and to love and appreciate themselves more and more. You see, even if awakened, that is still there in some. And this is the animal spirit. The dragon, okay, the dragon. And what is this element of the dragon? Oh, you know how some spiritual people, they tend to push their ego or parts of their ego. So you awaken, you have been already through the in-between phase. Now you are very much aware of what's happening within you, but still there is some part in you that's not in harmony with the ego, or what is called the ego. No, I cannot do that. I cannot. Let's let the dragon speak for itself, is what I hear. I'm here to teach you the element of fire and passion. You are not to be taken advantage of. And you are not to take advantage of what? People subconsciously. Is it? Okay, he says, let me speak. He put like a paw on my mouth. I let you speak. I am here to teach you the element of fire. You are not to be taken advantage of. You have a right to be passionate and fiery. If that means conflict, let it be. This is for the awakened ones. Let the conflict be. Let the fire be, says the dragon. It's kind of cute. I like this dragon. He's like putting a paw on my mouth. Says, shut up. Yeah, nice. Now, let's move to the masters, which is the final category in our love reading here. The masters showed up today as the Queen of Voices, Queen of Swords, which has the symbol of the Trinity on her head. And she's surrounded by crows, yet she is angelic. Eckhart Tolle around this master energy. Queen of Voices, Queen of Swords. You see, the masters, they don't need someone to be in a relationship with, but they want to so badly. They love to love. They love the energy of love, to be in service, to give, to treat their partner as they are the only one left on the face of the planet. The energy of the masters understand the juiciness of real passion. The energy of the master understand how to appreciate another human being to a T. You are so lucky to have a master in your life if you have one. And if you have one, that means that you are treated like a king or a queen. You are nurtured, you are appreciated, you are supported, they show an interest in you every single day, in what you need, in what you think. In who you are. They are there to be in your service. They are not to take. But they are very good receivers also. You see. So if we think logically, at least so far, I'm not saying there are not masters that are younger. They can be. I'm getting information here about that. Just 1 second. Masters in these times, they become masters fully in their late 30s and after that. You see. So the situation improved a little bit, didn't it? Hasn't it? So this is why the spiritual people are not lucky in love. If you call yourself spiritual, that means you are going through a spiritual awakening. It can be painful. It can be painful. It can, for sure, it's chaotic. For sure, it takes from your time and energy. And it is just to realign you with true love, actually, because humanity took a very wrong direction in love and relationships. And the awakening process is there to realign us to what true love is.